Hi guys, thanks for tuning in to another video episode on the Forgotten Weapons Library. I'm Ian, and the book we're looking at today is A Gun for All Nations, the 37mm Gun and Ammunition, Volume 1, 1870 to 1913, by Robert Mellichamp. Now this is definitely a book for a very specialized audience, a very special group of people who would actually be interested in this. Definitely includes me. I had a ball reading through this. Specifically, the book it sounds like the book started out as a project to look at the history of the Hotchkiss revolving cannon and the Hotchkiss quickfire cannon, which are two very, very distinct designs. The revolving cannon, as the name implies, was kind of like a Gatling gun, although mechanically very different, where it had either 5 or early on 6 barrels, and generally large caliber, sold for infantry use and as a naval weapon to combat torpedo boats, small mobile boats that large ships couldn't bring their main guns to bear on. The competitor, the Hotchkiss quickfire cannon was a completely different design. It was single barrel and it was generally a manually operated gun, had a vertically sliding breech block, and you would load and fire it singly, but because it used fixed ammunition and relatively low recoil, it was a small light gun and could be handled quickly by a small crew. Mellichamp has clearly done an incredible amount of work compiling this volume. It's a little over 600 pages, roughly half on the guns and half on their ammunition. He's covered what I can only imagine has got to be virtually every version and contract for these different guns. They existed in a whole ton of small variations, different barrel lengths, different sighting systems, and he does a good job describing all of that. He also does cover the competitors to the Hotchkiss gun, the other 37mm guns that were available in the day. Primarily those are Nordenfeldt guns, Maxim Vickers, commonly known as the Pom-Pom, automatic 37mm guns, and also a few oddballs like the Hotchkiss Model 1900, Model 1901 automatic cannon, which was basically a Hotchkiss 8mm machine gun scaled up to 37mm. Those, only a very small number of those were sold. We actually posted a picture of one in Mexico a little while back. Now, that's the good news. There's just a staggering amount of information in here, and it's information you really can't find anywhere else. It's hard to research 37mm guns because there is so much similarity and yet so many subtle differences that finding anyone with the expertise to actually distinguish between two different quickfire cannons is extremely difficult. And for that reason, this book is absolutely worth getting if this is a subject that you're at all interested in. Now the bad side is this is a self-published book. The binding is of good quality, it is soft cover, but there were obviously a number of sacrifices that had to be made to make this a practical publication. For one, it really needs a better editor. It's pretty much loaded with typos and small errors like that may bug you if that's something that you're going to notice. Doesn't appear to detract from the information at all. Secondly, there are no photographs in this. There are line drawings of almost everything that's discussed, in particular the cartridges. There are line drawings of every single one, and virtually all of the guns. I suppose there are pros and cons to that. Line drawings make it easier to distinguish the subtle differences that you're trying to point out between two different versions of a gun. At the same time, it would be really cool to actually see photographs of some of the existing examples of these guns. The one other downside, the one thing I regret not finding in here, is much technical description. Now granted, the quickfire guns, the single shots, there isn't a whole lot of mechanical stuff going on, so you're not missing a whole lot there. But things like the revolving cannon and the scaled up Hotchkiss machine gun, there is basically no mechanical explanation of how those guns work. There aren't any patent drawings or mechanical explanations, and I would have really liked to see that. But what can I say? Nothing's going to be perfect. Now this is volume 1 of what will be a total of 4. Looking on the internet, it appears that as I have been reading this, volume 2 has been published, so 1 and 2 are both currently available, which is nice. Being a self-published book, I can say with pretty much 100% certainty that this will be going out of print sooner or later, and if it's something you want, you really should get a copy now while you still can, because in another year or two they're probably all going to be gone. There's no way it's going to be cost-effective to print a second run of these books because they are so specialized. And you're just going to kick yourself and have to try and scrounge one up somewhere on the secondhand market if you don't get one now. So I am definitely going to be ordering a copy of Volume 2, sight unseen. I'm pretty happy with Volume 1 here. The cost on Volume 1 and also Volume 2 is $72 post-paid. That's per volume, so if you want both, you're looking at close to 150 bucks. Again, if Volume 2, which I believe covers up through 1924, is anything like Volume 1, I'm sure it'll be worth the money. I am going to, as I said, I'm going to get a copy and I'll report back on it. But I think Robert Mellichamp has done an outstanding job here, and this is information you just can't find anywhere else. So if this is a subject that you're interested in, you would definitely be well served to head over to oldguns.net, order up yourself a copy of Volume 1 and or Volume 2, and I'm looking forward to 3 and 4 when they come out, so I can have the whole collection and the reference work on the 37mm gun. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. I know we went a little long this time, but it was a pretty cool book that I think deserved it.